Linda McMahon, who's been chosen by Donald Trump to protect the nation's children, is the subject of a lawsuit claiming that she allowed a sexual predator to groom 13-year-old boys for sex and rape while she ran with her husband the World Wrestling Enterprise for World Wrestling Federation. That suit has now been stayed, at least temporarily, by a federal judge in Maryland. You're on Legal AF, the YouTube channel. I'm Michael Popok at the intersection of law, politics, and the Maryland Child Victims Act of 2023. Linda McMahon is trying to benefit from the Roman Catholic Church and their continued efforts in Maryland to avoid being held responsible for childhood abuse within the ranks of the archdiocese. And as a byproduct, Linda McMahon and her team are trying to take advantage of that by arguing that the statute that was passed by the legislature in 2023, primarily to address things like abuse in the Catholic Church, somehow violated the Maryland Constitution or a prior ruling or prior law by a prior Maryland legislature, despite the fact that the governor, Wes Moore, signed the bill allowing people who were the victim of sex assaults, rapes, molestations to be able to ignore the statute of limitations, go back 20, 30, or 40 years, whatever it takes to bring these people to justice. It's the same kind of law that it's been passed successfully and used successfully in places like New York. That's how Donald Trump got sued, and E. Jean Carroll was successful in her suit for sexual assault and rape that she claimed happened to her in the 1990s in New York. And she obtained a $100 million judgment against Donald Trump in two different cases for that. Maryland, very similar law. In fact, I think it was modeled after the New York law that was signed by then Governor Cuomo. The Archdiocese and the Catholic Church and other organizations like that are spending millions and millions of dollars to try to defeat that law. They don't like the law. So they filed a challenge, an appeal, and a Montgomery County State Court judge, Judge Cho, Janine Cho, ruled that it was unconstitutional, this law that allowed for the lawsuits to be brought, including the one against Linda McMahon by the 5 different plaintiffs who were then between the ages of 13 and 15, who served as ring boys, who, that already sounds bad, who were being groomed by Mel Phillips, who the allegations are the McMahons knew or should have known was a sexual predator. That's the case. It's just getting caught up in the Roman Catholic Church lobbying to try to avoid responsibility. Now, they already successfully lobbied for the law and getting a provision of the law included that they wanted, which was there's a limitation of $1.5 million against any private institution. So I don't really see why the Roman Catholic Church is still fighting this, but they are. And Linda McMahon, of course, because she's a Trumper, and has no place being in charge of the nation's children, by the way. I can't think of an organization that's done more harm to the morals and values of children, other than maybe video games, than the World Wrestling Organization that she was the head of. And now we're going to put her in charge of the nation's children with the allegation that she turned a blind eye as 13 to 15-year-olds were raped by Mel Phillips, who's now deceased, when he was the ring announcer for the World Wrestling Federation. It's ghastly. It's just ghastly. Now, what's going to happen? What Linda McMahon's filing asked for is to have her case stayed temporarily to see what the Maryland Supreme Court was going to do with Judge Cho's decision at the Superior Court level that the law was unconstitutional. There's another argument that in 2017, that the legislature, when they extended the time period back then to allow people to sue, that they said that this would be the last time they would ever do it. But look, legislatures change their mind. New legislatures come in. I don't think one legislature can bind the hands of the other. And I don't think people that are the tormentors of children and rape them should be able to say, well, I relied on the 2017 legislation to my detriment, and therefore it would be unethical and unconstitutional to allow them to come after me now. I just don't think an accused rapist or child molester should be able to get away with that. And I don't think they will. I think the Maryland Supreme Court is going to rule that this law, as it has in all the other states, is constitutional under Maryland's constitution, under the prior legislative actions by Maryland's legislature in 2017, and let all these cases go forward. So I'm not that concerned that the federal judge has temporarily stayed the case. I just think it's disgusting that Linda McMahon is in charge, or would be in charge, of the nation's school children. I think she's got a lot to answer for in her confirmation hearing on this particular issue, whether this case is stayed or not. It's only stayed on a technicality as to the enforceability of this particular law to allow for the suit. Doesn't mean that the interrogators of Linda McMahon, primarily on the Democrat side, can't question her about the lawsuit, have a copy of it in their hands, start asking her questions about Mel Phillips, what she knew and when she knew it. That's got to happen. And I also think it's disgusting that she's trying to benefit from the Roman Catholic Church getting out from under yet another sex abuse scandal. But this is the group of people that Donald Trump has selected to be in his cabinet, the best and the brightest, the most immoral and disgusting as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if this is the best or the brightest. You got a Surgeon General pick that accidentally killed her father when she was 13 with a gun. You've got Pete Hegseth that's busy being a serial sexual abuser of women and an alcoholic, and the way he runs his organizations, all alleged in different whistleblower complaints. You know, you got Matt Gaetz, an accused sexual predator. You got Linda McMahon, who's been sued in a lawsuit for turning a blind eye to children being raped on her watch, as alleged. Aren't there anybody better? You know, RFK Jr., an admitted heroin addict and abuser of women who doesn't believe in science, to be the head of all science and health. I don't know. I'm funny that way. I understand that I lost the election on the Democrats. I just don't understand why these are the people that are selected by Donald Trump to lead America. But we'll continue to follow it. You're here on the Legal AF YouTube channel. I got great news. I got a new show Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Popok Live. Yeah, on the Midas Touch Network at the intersection of law and politics, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. YouTube on Tuesdays, Popok Live. And then, of course, Legal AF, the podcast on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And then wherever you pick up your podcast from. And right here, come every day, every hour, Legal AF, the YouTube channel for exclusive content. We don't blow smoke or sunshine. Despite what other people might be saying, nobody tells me what to say. Nobody chooses a script for me. Nobody serves as my editor. I don't blow smoke or sunshine. Whatever I choose to speak about is what I choose to speak about right here. And I appreciate that the audience supports all of that. So until my next hot take, till my next reporting for Legal AF, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.